Even after 3 years of consistent saving, investing and having business mindset, I still sometimes have this urge to buy next cool thing that comes out. And the best thing about it is that in most cases I don't even need that thing. Thankfully, I adopted few ways of thinking that had many times stopped the unnecessary spendings. In this video, I'll show you 6 ways that help me stop wasting my money on things I don't need. Firstly, if you are new to my channel, hi, I'm Filip, I'm 21-year-old business owner and investor, and on this channel I'll show you how to build wealth and develop your life the way that will lead you to financial freedom. So if that sounds any good to you, hit the subscribe button and let's now jump to our way number 1, which is wait it out. I am always surprised about how much I pass on a purchase after a good waiting period. If it's something that costs quite a bit of money, I usually give myself about 30-day waiting period. During this time I am able to see if it fits in my budget, look at reviews, but most importantly, see if I would even care after a 30 days. And I personally feel like this is a perfect amount of time to wait. It's enough time for a hype of a new product to die down, and it's enough time for a lot of thoughts and consideration to go into it. Having this waiting period almost always allows me to avoid these buyer rumors, prevent those impulse purchases, and of course it builds that habit of discipline with money. Next time you consider big purchase, just sleep on it for a few nights and give it some thoughts. Now with this being said, let's move to our second way, which is creating pros and cons list. There is almost always a pros and cons list to be made while spending money. Now let me show you some example questions that you can ask yourself before making a purchase. Is it something that will need a regular maintenance and money to go into it to continue using it? Or is it something that is generally a waste of time and very unproductive? Speaking from personal experience, I can say that every single time I have made a pros and cons list, the cons usually far overweight the pros. Aside from purchases and spendings, I make a pros and cons list with every big life decision. Now our third way will be unsubscribe and avoid temptations. This is absolutely something that can be practically done, not just way of thinking. Algorithms and personalized ads are everywhere, and there is at least a way to control it at an extent. Recently I had this desire to build a sports car, and I'm not talking about some Lego or model. I'm talking about a car that has been destroyed in some kind of car accident. So then I will be able to renovate it to make it look brand new. In this period, every single video on my YouTube homepage was about building and renovating cars. And if that won't be enough, every single ad on the sites of my browser were for car parts. Besides from unsubscribing from the tempting emails and ads, I made an attempt to clear my YouTube homepage. And basically every other area where I have temptation to spend or where I am encouraged to spend. On and off the internet, basically anywhere we go, we are encouraged to spend and buy. And to be honest, sometimes it makes sense if it aligns with our values. The point I am trying to make is to take a little bit of control where you can, and do not giving it to tempting impulse spending opportunities. Now let's move to way number 4, which is find a hobby. Now I need to address that I fully understand that most hobbies require a bit of spending to even get started, but most of the times in my life when I wasn't doing some kind of hobby or some sort of activity for fun or to keep me busy, I really felt compelled to shop more. Having a hobby or at least something I can immerse myself in is so important for me to destroy this urge of spending randomly. Many hobbies I am doing are completely free, aside from money that I needed to get started. For example, grabbing books from library or boxing are basically free to do. Now let's move to our way number 5, which is explore an alternative affordable option. I am pretty much sure that there is almost always a more affordable version of everything. And I know this video is about not wanting to spend money, but in my opinion, this is still worth talking about. Whether it's about buying something that you need but in used condition like a car or some kind of tech device, or even just borrowing something I know I might only need once. For example, instead of buying new books, they are free at library. I could say with confidence that while I do still occasionally have the urge to buy something new and exciting, I personally enjoy the challenge of finding the more affordable option, and this leads me to the way number 6, which is consider financial goals. One of the easiest ways to prevent myself from spending is to think about my financial goals I'm trying to reach, because buying something that I don't need is direct opposite of making progress towards that. Something that I found incredibly effective was to find excitement to watch my investments grow, and the same way a purchase would bring me excitement. So you need to remember that every non-essential payment is ultimately a delay in your financial goals, and it's usually a pretty easy decision to make. Putting this thing into practice over a period of time have really just changed the way I think. So I hope a few things from this video can prove useful for you. Now thank you for watching. If you like this type of content, make sure to let me know by hitting this like button, and if you don't want to miss out on more content like this, make sure to subscribe this channel. That's all from me, see you next time.